Hello, coaches, and welcome to Facebook Live. Wow, it's so great to be connected to you all today. I'm so excited. I am Seal Stanford, and this is Raul Rivera, and we are going to be talking about a new series that we created for the next 5 weeks, and I love the topic. Love the topic. It's all about triggers, and this is a vital piece of information that will really change your life and change your clients' lives, and on a personal level, change everybody you're connected to if you use this. And so I'm pretty excited. So Raul, tell us about this title. What are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, thank you, Seal, and welcome everybody. Yes, we are so excited just with the whole topic for the next videos that we are going to create. Now, before we actually get into it, I would just like to ask you, if you're watching this live, please type in live, and also if you're just watching this in a replay, just type replay. That's really helpful for us. If you can just quickly help us with that, that'll be awesome. Then the other thing is, as always, we have some work that we did before. So we have a worksheet ready, and we're going to be sharing that with you. So if you're interested in the main points of today's video, the only thing you have to do is just type in EDUCE in the comments. EDUCE. I think that's the correct pronunciation, but that's the word that you have to put in. And like Sil mentioned, we are going to be sharing a lot of tips about how to handle triggers. Sil will cover today, the main point today is going to be around EDUCE. And I would like to share, just when that's not done, some of the challenges or the problems that could happen in a coaching type of situation. Like, let me just say this to you, okay? So, do you like to be told what to do? Probably not, right? Or how do you feel when somebody's just like forcing their viewpoints or their opinions on you? Do you like that? Probably not. Or even if somebody is giving you a right answer, but don't you enjoy it more when you find the right answer yourself? So it's all about, that's really, really important in coaching. And it's really important about EDUCing. The other thing also, it's very handy to learn how to EDUCE when you're in a situation when two people, they just have like two different opinions or viewpoints about something. So knowing how to EDUCE, it's really handy there. And at the end, in coaching, not knowing how to EDUCE, it's painful for you, the coach, probably for your clients too, but it's expensive because it's not as effective. So with that said, so we're going to go back with Sil because she's going to share about EDUCE.
Okay, thank you. So so coaches and everybody on this call, being able to notice when your client is triggered is one of the most valuable coaching skills that a coach could have, in my opinion. Honestly, I cannot imagine my life without knowing this one technique, and how different my life would be if I didn't know this. And so, when I came and started studying these materials in 1999, the word trigger was not really normal. You didn't hear people refer to that much. Now I see it. I see people, I see stars writing about it. I see people writing about it. They use it all the time, right? Trigger, it's a common word. So, yeah, it was pretty different back then, not used much. And so we're going to address some of the different aspects and tools that will help you handle triggers in the most optimum way. And a lot of times you'll see your clients being triggered, but you don't even know the first step on how to handle it, which, as Raul said, creates a lot of frustration and can also leave you feeling like you really can't help the person, and just create a lot of frustration for you and your clients. So, the word EDUCE, the short and skinny of it is to draw out. So when I say EDUCE, let me give you an example. So one day I had somebody visit me, and I asked them, they had bought something, they had a receipt, and I said, do you want this receipt, or would you like for me to throw it away? And this person's comment was, I hate receipts. And I looked at that and I thought, well, interesting. Receipts are probably triggering this person. So, you know, I had two options. I could just ignore it, or I could ask the person a question which would educe and draw out their answer. So I said, oh, what does receipts remind you of? And the person looked and she said, money that I shouldn't have spent. And so, you see, I just asked her a question and I drew out and just kind of laughed, and that was it. So that's what educe means, to draw out. You ask that person. You don't put your stuff on top of them. You don't give your opinion. I mean, I could have gone into a long entire speech like, oh, I save receipts all the time. That's very important. You ever want to take it back? Blah, 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 blah. So, but I did not ask. The answer was quite interesting. So the second point I wanted to make is nobody really knows your answers or more about your life than you do. Now, I can think I know, but it's much more powerful for me to ask you the question and let you find that answer, because you have the right answers for you. And it's more empowering for you to find that right answer, because the next time you're looking and trying to make a decision on something, you will be able to find more right answers yourself. So, and then the third point is when you're talking to your clients, so this is so important. I mean, I do this with my grandchildren all the time. Follow their interest line. What are they interested in? And where is their attention? And you will always win that way. And a lot of times, especially in kids, you know, I love talking about kids. A lot of times they don't know. They've got a lot of choices, or for some reason, somewhere, they really happen and they really don't know what their interest is. But if you educe, you will help them. You know, it reminds me of my granddaughter. One time she was trying to decide whether or not to take piano or whether or not to take soccer or something. And I just asked her some questions so she was able to sort out and go where her interest was, and you'll always win. So Raul, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, just one thing. I mean, because really, EDUCE is really a key ability in coaching, and not just coaching. I mean, in education.
Yeah.
Because funny enough, I mean, that's really the root word, you know, of education.
Mhm.
You know, EDUCE, to, you know, to draw out, right? To
Yeah.
extract. And that's really what you're doing. It's not you telling them or giving them the answers or solving things for them. It's
Yeah.
really helping them by asking the right questions at the right time so that they can just find the answer by themselves. I really love what you said. I mean, that is quite empowering. If you coach that way, meaning educing, you're really, really empowering the client. Doing it differently could be not that empowering. So yeah, I just love that line that you just said.
So thank you. So I have a short story to tell you, just an example of handling triggers on your clients and what can happen. It's a great story. It's in The Secrets to Increasing Your Power, Wealth, and Happiness, written by Alan Walter. So many years ago, Alan was hired by a company to go in and coach the country's basketball team. It was actually over in the Philippines. And the reason they wanted him to coach the basketball team is because basketball in that country is as important and held the same position as the NFL football did here, or soccer over in Europe and South America. So that's a pretty high position. I have a family that works with us from the Philippines, and oh, they love basketball. So I always think of this. I'm like, did you read this story? They're like, yes, we read this story. So anyway, the thing that Alan knew about this particular basketball team is there were 5 previous Olympian winners on this basketball team, but they were told, they were too old. I mean, I'm like, Jesus, how old were they? And he said, well, they were in their 30s. And I guess it's old for basketball. I mean, I really don't know. I don't know what the rules are around basketball, but they were basically told they were too old. And keep in mind, they had a lot of losses because they had never been able to win the championship for the whole entire country. So he took on the task, and because he knew anybody that's been an Olympian, they know how to train and they know what it takes to get to mastery. So he trained this team. And the first thing he did was to pick up their triggers. And he EDUCED. He asked them questions to clean up all their losses, which was, and I'm too old, so therefore they never thought they could win the game. And then he implemented special exercises to clean all that area up. But what he did was he handled their triggers, and he did that by asking questions to EDUCE. And guess what? They went and won the championship for the whole entire country. So I love that story because I asked him specifically, I know the processes that he used. You know that. I'm like, what process do you use? Do we have that? So yes, we do. But anyway, they won. So great story. EDUCing and handling triggers, because these guys, you want to talk about triggers on trying to win for the country and being a friggin' Olympian and losing, you might be a little triggered around that subject. So for those of you who want the worksheet, please type in the word, what's the word, de-access?
EDUCE.
EDUCE, sorry.
EDUCE, yeah.
EDUCE. So for those of you who created a worksheet, type the word EDUCE, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.